Hey guys, welcome to Selenium with Java June 2022 batch online training session 3. So from today's session I will try start Java. So it will be a total 4 session for the Java parts. So today's session I will cover what is Java all about, what are the command, data type, variable, object and classes in Java, what is operator, what are the Java string, what is array all about, single dimensional, the multi-dimensional array, what are the different kinds of loop available and what is the implication in Java like for loop, while loop and do while loop, and how we can handle those or control these three loop with the help of break and continue keyword statement. So what is Java? Java is a programming language, right? Initially it was like C, C++ and Java, right? So Java programming language was developed by Sun Microsystem in 1995. Now it is a subsidiary of Oracle Corporation, right? That is the reason you need to always go to the Oracle site, and if you want to download Java, right, you need to go to their site, right? After that you can download. So most important features of Java language are listed below. It's very simple, object oriented, portable, secured, platform independent, architectural neutral, high performance, robust, multi-threaded, as well as interpreted. So what does it mean by simple? Java is very simple and easy to learn, and its syntax is simple, clean and easy to understand. According to Sun, Java language is a simple programming language. Why Java is really important? Because I must say that in case you know Java, very easily you can learn the other programming language like nowadays the advanced language like C Sharp or C Hash, Python. So that is the reason Java is still very demand in the market. Then object oriented. In Java everything is, most of the thing is object related to object, right? So object oriented means, right, user can organize their software as a combination of different type of object that incorporates both data and the behavior. So in the object, right, oriented I will cover in the upcoming session, but there are four concept of the OPS programming language, or it is called object oriented programming structure, starting with object and class. And apart from that there are four more pillar or features available in the OPS concept, which is inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. So in the upcoming session I will cover each and every items, right, whatever is part of the OPS concept. Then Java is portable because it facilitates user to carry the Java bytecode to any platform. It does not require any implementation. Platform means the operating system. In case today you are writing something in the Windows, right, the same code you can implement and you can just run in the Mac or the Linux. So that is called portable. Secured. Java is best known for its security. With Java, user can develop, right, by the free system, so definitely security is more there in the Java. Platform independent, also it's mentioned like that, does not matter in the platform, right? Which platform you are doing it, right? In case you want to run in one platform the other software or hardware, right, it will be work. So that is the another advantage of the platform independent. Architectural neutral. Java compiler generates an architectural neutral object file format which makes the compiled code executable on many processors with the absence of Java runtime system. So I'll cover what is Java runtime system or JRE, what is Java virtual machine, one is Java development kit in the upcoming slides. Okay, then high performance. So Java is faster than other traditional interpreted programming language because Java bytecode is close to native code. It is still a little bit slower than compiled language like C++, but still Java is an interpreted language. That is the reason, right? It is slower, but still compared to other programming language, still it is high performance. Multi-threaded. So multi-threaded part will be covered in the upcoming session, but still if you can, I want to clear what is the multi-threaded. So thread is nothing but a process, right? So multi-threaded means we can run multiple processes at the same time, right? So that is the reason Java is multi-threaded. Let's suppose say giving example, right? Say you are having 10 sweets, right? And if you want to eat only one person, right, so it will take some time. But in case I am giving 5%, right, so 5% can eat 10 sweets in a shorter span of time. So 5% will work simultaneously to eat the sweet. So that is called multi-threaded. Instead of a single thread, multiple person will work at the same time, or multiple processes will work at the same time. Now robust. Robust simply means strong. So Java is robust because of some of the important features like there is an automated garbage collection process available in Java, right, which run in the JVM or Java virtual machine. Suppose say to clear all the I mean other kind of stuff whatever is not being used, right? Suppose today you are using some of the program, right, and tomorrow in case you do not clear this part, right, so it will consume some memory, right? So that is the reason, right, robust process is there, so automatically kind of garbage collection process will be there, right? So through which, right, all the garbages which is not relevant to your programming will be cleared. Then intercepted, so Java bytecode is translated on the fly to native machine instruction and it is not stored anywhere, right? So the development process is more rapid and analytical since the linking is an incremental and lightweight process. That is the reason kind of you can must say that Java is interpreted, right? So these are the important features. That is the reason Java nowadays is still more demanding. So Java came in 1994, right? Lot of computer programming came like CS, Python, but still Java is having more demand in the market. Then let's try to understand the architecture of Java, right? So it will start with Java virtual machine, then Java runtime environment, then the Java development kit, right? So JVM or Java virtual machine is an abstract machine. It is no longer existent in the real time, but this kind of logical existence is there. So it is called virtual because it does not physically exist. It is a specification that provides runtime environment in which Java bytecode can be executed. It can also run those programs which are written in other language and compiled to Java bytecode, right? So you can write your own program, right? But that need to be transferred or compiled to the Java relevant programming bytecode, otherwise it will not run. So that is the reason compiler will play an pivotal role to convert the Java code to the bytecode. Then GRE will comes into the picture. So GRE is nothing but a combination of JVM, right? If you are able to see the diagram, so it's a combination of JVM plus set of libraries and other file. So GRE or Java runtime environment is a real-time thing. It's not a kind of virtual. So it's a set of software tool which are used for developing Java application. It is used to provide the runtime environment. It is the implementation of JVM. It physically exists. It contains set of library plus other files that JVM uses at runtime. So first is JVM, which is not physically exists. Then GRE, which is physically exists, which is a combination of JVM plus other libraries file. Then the JDK, which is Java Development Kit. So you already seen in the last time I already see that whenever you are seeing installing the Java, you immediately see that Java folder, right? And where you will be able to see the GRE and the JDK. So if you go to the C drive, right? Already Java is already installed, right? If you click on the Java, you could able to see, right, for any version, right, JDK and GRE. But JVM is not there because JVM does not physically exist, right? So if you open GRE, right, you can find, right, these are the different files, library files available, right? So JDK is nothing but the combination of GRE plus the other relevant files, right? So you are maintaining everything from the JDK, right? In the advanced system path, right, you need to add this path to run the Selenium program. So JDK or Java Development Kit is a software development environment which is used to develop Java application and applets. It physically exists. It is a combination of GRE plus the other development tool, right? So that is the reason it's a complete picture through which you can write your program and you can run your program, because that development tool is having that interpreter, loader, compiler, archiver, document generator, everything is there. So that is the internal structure. So why you need to understand, because, right, in case someone is asking what is the internal pattern, right, otherwise right, there is no need of this thing to write during the code writing. But you can know that first starting with that Java code need to be compiled to the Java bytecode through the JVM, which is not physically exist but logically exists. Then GRE, right, is a kind of combination of other file which is supporting the file, right, which is for the creating the runtime environment. So it is creating the runtime environment. But if you want to develop something or execute something, JDK is required, which is giving the other tool to design your code and to run your program, right, with the help of the development tools called compiler, archiver, document generator, right, and the interpreter or loader, right. Then what is the importance of the Java in Selenium WebDriver? There are so many programming language, right? Starting with C hash, starting with Python, Ruby, right? Other programming language, but still Java why it is dependent. So Selenium support lot of language starting Java, C hash, Python, Ruby, the JavaScript, right? Still I must say that more than 50% project still uses Java, okay, with the Selenium WebDriver combination. So Selenium written in Java, hence Java is more compatible with Selenium. However, user can use other supported language like C, Hash, Python, Ruby, etc. Good support for Selenium with Java. Anyone can get more help for documentation and code implementation from the internet. Most of the Selenium testers are using Java only, so knowledge sharing or the clarification resolution is very easy. You can find lot of plenty document in the internet, right? Lot of relevant training, lot of relevant documents, lot of videos, right? So that will be help you, right? So in case you want to learn Python or CIS or Ruby, you will get limited material. I am not saying that material is not available, but still you can get limited material. So Java is platform independent language, right? So like we can use any operating system, like it can be Mac, right? It can be Linux, it can be Windows, right? So that are the different advantages of Java in Selenium WebDriver. Then the syntax rule. So you already written few of the program in Selenium WebDriver. So you already see, right? Java is very case sensitive language. So lowercase and uppercase is not same. It will treat as a different entity. First letter, in case you want to create any class, right? It will be uppercase. If in case you want to create any method, right, it will be lowercase. In case you need to create any interface, it will be uppercase. Package name should be lowercase. You already see, right? If you want to create something in the project, right, you can say here in the project, right, we are creating the project in the uppercase, then package is in the lowercase, the class in the uppercase. So that is the convention we need to use for the real time as well, because that is the generic convention of Java, right? Constant name, in case you declare something, to be uppercase. Java program file should start exactly, right, in case you want to write something, the exactly the class name, right, in case something is generating. Now suppose you can already create a program, right? This is the program. Okay, if you go right click here and if you go to the properties, so project name you will find it. So let's copy it. It will be exactly same name of the class name. So let's control copy the properties, so you will get the path here of the project, right? So where the project is saved, you can get the information. That is the where, right, project is getting saved. Just copy it, right? Press Windows R and press the path of the project. You can able to get to the path, right? You could see here, this is the path, this is the bin folder, right? This is the reference library, right? This is the src folder. Under the src folder, the training package is there. You could see src folder, then the package is training. If you open the training, you could see session 1 and session 2, right? So that is the class, it will be same, right? If you open session 1, so whatever code is already written, you can get it from here, right? So that is the way you can simply get all the details here, right? So you can validate it, right, whether it's matching with the project or not. Then Java programs start from the main method, right? So you already see, if you open any program, right, any class, you could see Java main execution, especially for the Java project. But definitely later we will see how we can execute our Selenium script without Java main project. So we'll be using TestNG there. You could see everything starting from the main project, public static void main, right? That is the main project, right? Every statement should be end with semicolon. So in case you are writing any statement, right, it is ending with semicolon. You could see every statement, right? Every program should be started with braces. So this is the braces, right? So class is starting with the braces or second bracket, and also main method is starting with second bracket. And in case you need to end with 2 second bracket, right, that is the reason we are ending with 2 second bracket, right? You could see here. Otherwise it will throw compilation error. In case you are not enclosing, in case you are removing, say, a second bracket, right, or the braces or the any kind of semicolon, it will throw immediately compilation error. Then how to start your program using Eclipse? So you already know that you need to launch an Eclipse, right? After that you need to create a project, you need to create a package, you need to create a Java class, and you need to write something in the class, right? So you let's create a class here for session 3. Okay, in the package, right click, click on the new, click on the class. So I'm giving something called session 3. Then we need to select the public static void main method, right? Until it will not work. Okay, so let's see. So you could see immediately package is getting displayed. This is the package name, right? Public class session 3, this is the class name we have given, and the main method is also coming, right? So in the last session you already see, right, that how to run the basic program. So I can say, I can give SOISO, and you can press control enter from your spacebar, control enter. So automatically method will come, otherwise you can type the method, right? So and control enter. So it will be system.out.println, that is the method name. You can call it so method, and public static void main you can call it the main method. This is the two important method, right? You could see this is the so method. If you select it here, automatically system.out.println will come, and after that you can write something within the double quote, right? So that will consider the string. So first Java program, whatever we write within the double quote, it will be considered as a string, right? And after that, if you right click here and if you want to run as, right, as a Java program, application, it will run, right? So that's why you can run your first Java program without installing the Selenium WebDriver. So this is all about Java. So you need to simply download Java, right? You need to associate in the path, you need to open your Eclipse, you need to create a project, you need to create a package, you need to create a class, you need to select the main class, you need to add something called so method. After that you can write it, though you can see this is the message is getting printed in the console, right? Then what is the importance of the, what are the each and every term for the main method and so method is defining, right? So that is the because you are having some questions, right? So you could see I have given here the public is called, the first will be called as access modifier, right? So how it is accessible? In case it is public, it can access by anywhere, it can be private, it can be like default like that, okay? There are four access modifier: public, private, I think, and then protected, and then default. So why it is in public? So it shows that you can access by everywhere, but main method it is always there, you cannot write, it is Java property, so it will be always there. But for the other method you can consider as a protected or other stuff, right? So that will be accessible based on the different part. The static is nothing but the access modifier, non-access modifier. This is called access modifier, this is called non-access modifier. I will let you know the what is the impact of the static keyword, right, in the upcoming session. But static is the non-access modifier, you can know for now. The void is the return type. So in case you are writing some method, right, that method should be something called return type. So either it should be void or either it should be other data type, right? It can be string, integer, boolean, right, character, like that. And this is the main method, that is called the main method name, right? This is the main method name. Then for system out.println, so system is nothing, right, but the class in the Java which is the predefined in Java. Out is nothing but an instance of print stream type, which is public and static member field of the system class. Then println is the method name in the system class, and after that whatever thing is right, it is kind of message you want to print out in the console. So that is the internal structure, right, or all the details for the SOISO method or the main method, guys. Okay, so let's wait. I mean, so any questions, guys? We can take it up. After that, we will go for the other session, other topics. So are you able to understand, right, what is the internal architecture and how we can create our first program in the Java, and what is the importance of the public main method or the SOISO method? Anyone is having any doubt, questions? Okay, cool. Are you able to hear me, guys, right? And able to see my screen? Okay, okay, thank you. Okay. Then you already seen on the last couple of sessions, you already seen how to comment it, right? Comment it. So comment means, right, just the some code is there, but we are not going to remove them because sometime we can use them. So that is then better to comment out, right? Suppose say, let's write few more lines here. Suppose say Java program 1, Java program 2, Java program 3, like that. Okay, so how we can comment out? So there are two options, right? You can comment, in case you want to comment out single line, you can give simply double slash, right, starting of the line. You can see the color is getting changed immediately, right? Means it is green from the blue, right? So that means now if you want to run, so 3 line of code will be executed instead of 4 line. So you can comment it out, means that will be there in the code, but that will not be impact the code. So that is the thing which commented out, just strike through. But we can uncomment again, right, if it's required, right? You could see that is the thing is coming. But in case you want to comment multiple lines, so that is the options available here, right? You can get to the source and you can click add block comment. Other option is there, you can give slash then star starting line, and you can go to the end line and you can give again star slash, right? You can see that both the line is coming commented, so now only one active line is there, right? So that will be work out. So that is the three way you can comment out, right? So now you want to comment out all the lines, right? So you can select all the lines here, right? And you can click source add block comment. All the lines have been commented automatically, right? Now you can remove, I mean execute, or if you want to remove it again, you can select all the lines and you can just click on the source remove block comment, right? And if you want to also uncommented that line, you can just comment it. So now you 4 line you can execute, so you can see the output will come for the 4 line. So that is the way. Sometimes comment is also required, right? So that is the reason it's better that you can know the all the options how to comment out. Let's comment out now all the thing. We'll go to the other topics. So comments can be used to explain Java code and to make it more readable. Comment are English word used for the code documentation. Java supports single lines and multiple line comment. Java comments in Java make the code readable. It also makes the code disable from the execution. That is the important aspects here. So we can comment by 3 ways: single line comment, multiple line comment. Apart from that, we can use that source add block comment and remove block comment. Then the data type. What is data type all about? So suppose in case you declare something called a equal to 10, right? Will it work? No, it will not work, because Java is not able to understand what is the a all about. So it will understand it's alphabet only, but what is then, what is next? Because alphabet you will not able to hold, it will not able to read it, right? So that is the reason data type is very very important. In case you are defining something and assigning some value, right, the data type is required. So data type is a classification of the type of data that a variable or object can hold in the computer programming. So you already see we are creating some object instance like that, but we need to define the data type, right? You already seen that what is the data type for the variable in the session 2, or see like that. Suppose say in case you are creating the session 2, right? You already seen that you are creating some variable or object, but we have given the data type, right? Sometimes kind of variable type, right? You could see this is the web element type, right? This is the type we have given. So that is the thing, right? But for Java data type, right? So there are some sort of data types available. This is the, you can see this is the web element variable is web element type from the web element class, right? So you are here, you need to give the data type. So in Java there are primarily two type of data type is available. One is the primitive and one is the non-primitive. So in primitive 8 data type primarily 4: integer, relationals, character and conditional. In the integer there are 4: byte, short, integer and long. And the relational is float and double, so it will be decimal point. In character it will contain only one character, A to Z, 26 digit, and the boolean it will only contain true or false, otherwise it will not contain. And non-primitive is nothing but the reference data type in Java, which are object, class, interface, array, string, like that, right? So in case you want to declare, so byte is holding 8 bits, means 2 to the power 8, you already know, right? That is the thing. So it will contain 256 maximum, right? It will start from minus 128 and then 0, then plus 127. That is the 256 character it will hold. So it is starting with negative 1 minus 128, then minus 128 minus 127 like to 0, and then plus 127. So that is the 256 character it will hold. Short means 2 to the power 16. Integer means 2 to the power 32. Long it will contain 2 to the power 64. So that is the way, right? You can hold the data, you can define the data. Suppose say I am defining something called, right? How I can define that variable? First I will be given data type, right? Then variable name and then equal to sign like value. Suppose say data type, then variable name equal to value. So that's why I'll be defining the data type, right? Suppose say give, suppose say called byte, byt, byte b equal to, suppose say give 120, right? And you can print out. So I can call that one and I can print out. If I want to print the value here, I can, because it's a data type is a thing, you no need to give the second bracket because it's a byte. Because in case you declare something called variable, you no need to give it. Now if you want to execute, right, you could see you will able to get the value. So that's why you can add the data type, create a variable, assign some value, you can see. Now I already mentioned, right, byte is 256 character, minus 1 to 27 to minus, sorry, plus 127, minus 1 to 28 to 127. Now if you give like called 130, so it will not take the value, it will throw the error. You could see immediately error came. What is the error? Right, cannot convert from integer to byte because next thing is integer, right? Because or you can add give sort because it is ranging with 16 bit, it is out from the 8 bit. So that's why you can define, suppose in case you define it to integer, right, so it will work because the value is falling in the integer, so not be a problem. So that's why you need to think it. So byte is the very short one, right, then short, then integer, then long. In case you are having long digits, so you need to declare something called integer. In case you want to declare something for the long or float, right, you can declare like that here, float or the double, right. So float is 32 bits and double is 64 bit, but in case you need to give some decimal. So suppose say you want to declare something called double d equal to like that, right, and then I want to print it out d. So it will consider some decimal, but in case it is decimal is not, that will work. But double means your probability some decimal will be there. In case it is not having decimal, there does not have any problem. But that is the thing. But you cannot add something in the integer, right? You cannot add some decimal. Okay, but decimal point cannot be there in the double also. That's still fine, right? But if you want to give something called decimal value in the integer, will it work? But here it's same, right? 130.0 and 130 is logically same, but still it will not work because that part is you are adding, because the integer should not give any kind of decimal point, right? But in case for the double, if you remove the decimal part, still it will work, right? It does not have any problem because, right, decimal part is that it will still consider the string. But if you want to go here in the output, right, you could see the difference, right? It will be right. Sorry, okay, I have changed it to 8d. If you want to print something, right, you could see it is 0.0 is getting added, right, it is automatically converting to decimal. It does not have any impactance, but Java will find the impactance, right? So that is the reason. If whatever you think, it will not the correct, because Java program will think and you have to work accordingly. Similarly, if you want to add something called character, right, so it will be single slash char, that is the data type. You can define something called suppose like b, right, so that is the character, right, and I can define something called what is this called boolean, b double o LEAN, that is boolean format. Boolean, suppose say b1. You can give value only true or false, right? It will not work. After that, I can print out. So I want to print the character value. I want to print the boolean value. Right? Now, if you want to run it, right, it will see. You can see it will work. So that is the thing you need to understand, right? So integer, short, long, or sorry, integer, short, byte, it will be without decimal value and numeric part. Double or float, it will be with decimal, but it cannot have a decimal. Character, it will be within single quote and the only alphabet character 1 to Z, and it is boolean, so either true or false, right? You could see it is coming, right? Now if you give something called true 1, will it work? Because it will not consider any value other than true or false in the boolean. You can see immediately error message is coming. The true one cannot be resolved to a variable, right? Only true or false will work here. Other part, right, if you want to go to the non-primitive data type, so you can declare something called string. So you need to give the data type as string. So say str, I am writing in double quote, you need to give it. So whatever we are already writing, suppose say hello Java, right, and I can print it out. I need to end with colon. So that is the definition difference, guys, for the data type standpoint. So once you are good, so that will help you down the line. str. So similar way you need to define, right, the variable also, so that from the variable name itself you can understand what the different type of variable you are declaring for each and every data type. Now you can see The first is coming called integer, second is the double, third one is the character, fourth one is the boolean, and fifth one is the string. So that's why you can interact with the, you can define the data type, you can create the variable, and you can assign something value. Suppose say that I don't want to assign the value in the same line, then what you need to do? You can define integer b one line, and then next line you can assign the b equal to 30. That will still work, right? In case the similar way, right? In case you want to define some variable called b e, right, a at the same time, it will work, right? After that you can give it, because all are integer. E equal to 100, a equal to 200, right? So in case you want to declare more integer at the same time, you can do it, and after that you can assign the value, right? That will help you down the line to make it easy. So you can know this is the integer, this is the double, this is the character, multiple variable at the same time. You can define the data type, and then you can assign the value. So that way it will work, guys. So that is the different part from the data type, right? So variable you already see right here. First data type, then the variable name, and then you are holding the value, right? Assigning the value, right? So it is not always that you need to define the value. You can create the variable. You can see here some warning message is coming. Why warning message is coming? Because you have defined multiple variable, but the variable you have defined, but you did not use in the program, right? So you could see the variable you have assigned the value, but you did not use in the program, means you did not want to print it out. Immediately if you want to print it out, right, suppose say e and f also, immediately error message will gone. So I already used e, but f did not use. So now if you go to the warning, so this is called warning, not the error. It will give you that something is kind of not a problem, but something you can use it better, right? Now you can see value if f is not used, right? So now if you click on the and add app also, now you can see warning message gone, because the three variable I have defined for the integer, three variable I have defined the value, corresponding value, and three variable I have used somewhere, right, in the program. So that is the way, right? So a variable is nothing but a container which will hold the value. So this is the variable, right, and which is holding some value, and this is the data type. Okay. So while Java program you are executing, so a variable is assigned with a data type, must be. Variable is a name of memory location where you are storing the value. So in case if you go on to the Java memory location, you can see there is a variable created b, and that is holding the value 100, 200, whatever you are giving it. So Java variable are case sensitive, right? So suppose say in case I am defining something called capital B, right? So is it work? You could see immediately error message is coming for the small b, because either you need to define some other variable called small b, right? You could see either change it to capital B, it is giving some suggestion, either creating a local variable, either remove the assignment like that, right? So it will not work. So you need to go to the small b. So it's case sensitive. Variable name should not be matched with the Java reserve keyword. In Java there are reserve keyword like integer, system, out, double, right, for, while, do while, like that. You cannot create any variable like that, right? Suppose in case I want to create something called integer for, will it work? You could see error message coming. You could see syntax error, invalid variable declared. Suppose in case you want to declare something called integer float, so float is the reserve keyword. So in Java some reserve keyword is there, right? While, do while, if, else, switch, right, method, right, date, all this stuff, whatever is already there, but you can use float one, that is not a reserve word, right? You can see no warning. So that is the way, right, you need to work on. You cannot use anything which is reserved in Java, right? Variable name must not exceed 250 character, you need to remember. In Java all variable must be declared before they can be used. So that is very very important point, right? Suppose say I am declaring variable first, after that I am using here, right? But if you want to use before declaring, it will work. Suppose say I want to use before declaring, right? So it will throw the error. You can see here I have declared in the next line, but I am trying to use before it. No, it is not possible. After declaring next line you can use it, right? You can see again it is giving it kind of stuff, right? So you cannot use something which is before stuff. The value stored in a variable can be changed during program execution. It can be changed. Suppose say here I have given a already defined a variable, right? So I have given b value 130. Next line I can change it, right, to 150. It will not having any problem, and 200 like that, 250. So whatever latest value is there, it will take the value. So that is the reason there are so many keyword available in case you don't want to change the value. So you can declare something called final, so that you cannot change, it will throw the error, right? But in case you are not defining something called final, that is called non-access modifier, you can change the value. And if you want to print something or you want to use something, latest value it will take, not the first one, the latest value, last line value where that you are defining it will take the value only, right? Then there are three type of primary variable, right? Local, instance, and the class variable, guys. Okay, so let's comment out all these lines of code here. Let's try to understand what is local variable, what is instance variable, what is class variable. So in the class here I can declare some variable, right? So first create some variable called class variable. So class variable I can declare normal way. Suppose say integer I1 or integer a equal to 20. That is called class variable, right? Then you can define something called static int, integer b equal to 30, right, which is called static variable. And one variable is called local variable. So just do not no need to understand what is method all about. So I can create a method called public void test, and this is the method syntax. Here I can create some variable called integer c, integer c equal to 50. So that is called local variable. And here you can call it, right, so method, and you can call, you can see that you can call only that c here. So that's why its variable is there. Then what is class variable? How can access in the main method, right? So class variable is nothing but you can access it here. Suppose say in case you want to print out something with the help of the main method. So that is the variable I have defined, right, in the class level. And now if I want to use a, right, let's try to use all the variable, call all the variable, and let's see what the problem is coming. Then you can understand the implication of each and variable type. So I want to call b, I want to call c. You can see for b there is no error message, but for a and c error message is there. So let's try to why the b error message is not there, because b I have defined a static variable. So in case something is called static variable, then in the main method you can use that variable as it is without creating an object or instance. So that is the importance of static variable, guys. You no need to create a object or instance for the static variable. So you can use them as it is in the main method. In case you are declaring something static in the class level. Okay, so that is the simple application. Then why a is not working, right? So a is a class variable. So in case you want to use a class variable in the main method, you need to create an object or instance of the class. Then you can access it with that class instance. So first I need to create an object or instance here. So I will be creating object or instance. So you need to create the class name, give the class name here in the main method. Then you need to create an object or instance called obj equal to new class. So that is the syntax. You need to use it. And after that with the class, right, if you press class dot a, right, now you can see a is coming from session 3 class, it will work now. You can see error message gone. For the other local variable you cannot use any way. So local variable only accessible in the local method. It cannot be used in the main method, but you can call that method name itself. Then you can automatically print out that whatever value is there. Otherwise you cannot use them. So how can you use it? So you need to create the object, then you need to call that method. So here no need to give that system out because it's already there. So I'll be creating object dot method, I will call it. So that way I can call the local variable. Otherwise only local variable accessible in the local method. It cannot be accessible because I am not calling the local variable, I am calling the method only. So in the method only local variable I want to print out. That is the reason I can access it. So that is the implication of these three variable, guys. This is very very important. Unless you are getting the clarity, so it will be very very tough to understand. Local is can be accessible within the local. Class variable we can use it in the main method, but you need to first create an object or instance of that class. Then with the help of the object or instance you can use it. In case something you are defining something called static, it can be accessible in the main method without object or instance created. So that is the reason it's called static variable. And class variable is you need to create a class first, sorry, object or instance of the class, for after that you can use it. But local variable only accessible in the local method. But you can call the method, right? After that maybe variable can be accessible. So that is the important thing, guys. So any question from the data type or variable? Yeah, I'll cover in the method, right? So static keyword can be used in the class level, in the variable level, in the method level. This is the non-access modifier. We can use it. Suppose say I will cover it. Suppose say in case you declare something called public static, right? Static void. Then you can simply call the method, right? You don't need to create the object. So that is the importance of the static keyword. This is called non-access modifier. It can be accessed in the class level, in the variable level, in the method level, right? Any other questions, guys? Okay, cool. Then object and classes you already seen, right? Then what is object and class? Still I will want to cover what is object in Java. So object in Java is the physical as well as logical entity, whereas class is a logical entity. Only logical, class does not physically exist. That is the, I mean, most of the time interviewer will ask that question and then you need to give with proper logic, right? So class is a group of objects which have the common properties, or it is a template or a blueprint from which objects are created. So object is an element of an application representing an instance of the class. Suppose say in case I want to define something called animal, is it any significance? No, but it's a class. If I want to give something called tree, no, it does not have any, there is nothing called something called tree, but it has some name. Suppose say if I want to give something called cooking utensils, right? It will signify something, no, exactly, right? Similar way, if I want to name something called tiger, right, a human being, lion, cat, dog, like that, but it is significant something. So that is called class, and a group of similar class is called, sorry, this is called object, and group of similar object is called class, right? So I can create the class manually here also. There are a lot of class can be created also here. Suppose say this is the class already created here. Let's comment out this line. Let's try to create another class here. So how can I create the class in the package, right? You can create a class. So class, then the class name, and then you can define something called field, right? So that is the way. Suppose say I'm creating some class called class employee, right? That is my class. Here I can define something called integer employee number, right? Then string, because that is the definition of the data type, right? Employee name. So that is the two thing I can give it, right? So that is the way I can define the class and the variable along with the data type. Now how can you access it, right? How can I access it? So I need to create an object or instance in the main method, then I can access it, right? Then try to understand step by step, guys. employee, suppose say I can create employee 1 equal to new employee. So that is the way you can create an object for instance, right? Now if you want to print out something, go with the help of that class or object. You can see if you press that one and if you press dot, all the variable it will come here. You can see that is coming from the employee class. That data type is return type is right string, or data type is string, and this is the name, right? So I will print one here, and other way I will call the other variable. That is the two variable I have created. Dot employee name. So now if you run your code, so what will be the output? Can anyone tell me? No, let me know from your knowledge perspective, whatever knowledge you have gained before running it. No, it will run. In case you are defining, not defining any value, right? But you have defined data type. Yeah. Yeah, no, no, not null, but it will take the default value of the data type. Try to understand. It will try to print the default value of the data type. So default value for integer it is 0. For double it is 0.0. For string it is null. That is the reason it is printing null. So if you run it something, it will try to print the default value of the data type. You can see default value. Suppose I will define one more thing called salary. So say double. Right. So if you want to print it also, so it will be 0.0. So that are the thing you need to remember. It is not logically it is coming. Okay, so that is the reason logic is very really required to understand why it is happening. So it will be 0.0 because the return type of the double is 0.0. For the string it is null, for integer byte it will be 0. Right, float and double it will be 0.0. Now then my question is that how can I define something? So here you can assign the value, but it should not logical to assign the value at the class level. Why? Because in case you want to create multiple objects or instance, the same value will be printed. But I don't want to print the same value because every employee number, every value, every salary is different, right? So that is the reason in the main method level, whenever you will be calling it, right, you can add the value here first. So employee dot employee number, say employee number, right, equal to, suppose say give 100 like that. Then you can give emp1 dot employee name, suppose say, because it's string, so here it is integer, I am not defining anything called double quote, so it is string, I need to give double quote, suppose say Rahul, right? Then employee1 dot salary, right, I am giving something called say, because it is a double, right, so I can give something called like that. Maybe that is the US dollar, does not matter, right? Any digit, right? So that's why you can give it. It's a double, so, right? Now if you want to print out, it will take the value. So that is the way. You can define something at the class level, but that is not recommended. So it will you are fixing the value. But definitely you don't want to fix the value. Why it is not there? Here in the main method, I can create multiple class object or instance for the same class. I'll go for another class called emp2, and I will change everything called emp2. This is the another one, right? So that is the reason it is not recommended. But in case you want to fix something which will not change, you can go it. Suppose I am creating another variable called employee name, right? Suppose say you can give a b c like that, because that will not change, because you want to print something called for the same company. So then you can fix it here, employee name equal to a. So you no need to call it, no need to give the value in the other way, but you can define something. So get 200, give Raj, give something called like that. Here you can change it to 2, 2 and 2. Let's print out. Let's try to, so that you can see that both the value for employee 1 and employee 2 will be printed out here. But in case something is common, suppose a school level, if you want to give student database, so school will be common, board will be common, you can define the value at the class level which will not change, right? So that's why you can print out, you can add the value correspondingly, you can do some operation as well. Yeah, sorry, some questions was you are having. No, it will not take, right? Suppose no, it will not take. It is a basic Java logic, right? It will not. It will throw the error. Yeah, that is the part already covered, right? Based on the data type, it will you need to give the value. Sorry. Yeah, variable, whatever variable you need to define here, you can define at the class level. In case some of the variables, suppose say organization, or I mean say string organization, right? Suppose it is a common, right? Suppose say I am giving test company, then I can define the value, because that is common. I will not change, right, for that particular employee class, because I want to define something for that test company, so that I can define the value here. And whatever variable you want to define, you need to define in the class level. For that class level, you cannot define the main method level. No, it is because the class properties, all the variable is class property. But yeah, but all the value, yeah, value allocate, yeah, why never, right, in the main method, right, definitely, right? So here if you want to access it, right, for all the variable, you can just simply call the organization, no need to, yeah, right? So that because it is common across, so that is the way you need to define it. So are you getting the point, my, right? Whatever is not common, whatever may vary for each and every kind of class level, so that is the thing we need, should not define the value at the class level. But in case something is not changing, right, it's constant in nature for all the variable, whatever you all the object whatever you're creating for the class, you can just define the class level itself. So that will help you for the down the line, right? Yeah, for the long term. Any other questions, guys? Because this is very very important, right? All the part will be very very important. Unless you are I mean right, getting the thing right, it will be very very tough. Okay, so you need to go through the document and just go through the video and try practice something, then it will give you more visibility, right? So Java first clear it, so that two already choose classes from Selenium covered, but now it will, whatever questions you are having, I will try to cover in the fourth Java session. In the Java operator, you already know there are different operators available. Similarly, Java, all the operators possible. Like there is four kind of operator available, like called arithmetic, relational, assignment, and the logical operator primarily. So let's try to do something here for all the operator. So it is kind of just of normal operator only. Okay, suppose in case you declare some variable first, integer a, I'm declaring something called integer a, b, and c. Let a equal to 100, or give it 300, b equal to 200, c equal to 100, like that. Why there are message integer a, b, c? Oh god, is it something already there? Integer c. Syntax token after that one. One second. Syntax error on token expected after multiple markers at the line. Okay, let's define something called d. Not sure why it is happening. Let's try to define something called integer a. Oh, okay, sorry. I am defining at that session 3 now. Still it is fine here only. What is the error? One change line. See, something error is there in the lower end, that is the reason it is throwing the error. Yes. So one class. Oh god, I have commented out the main method. Okay. Okay, so that is the reason it is throwing the error, because main method you cannot comment it out. However, you need to comment out this thing. So let's try to define something called integer a, b, and c. A equal to 300, b equal to 200, c equal to 100, or let's keep it 40, like that. Right. Now if you want to print out some operation here, so similar way arithmetic operation, whatever you want to do, you can do it. A plus b, a plus b, a minus b, like that, right? A division, integration, whatever you want to do. Minus b, similarly a multiplication, division, or it will be slash, right? So it is a division. Then you can reminder, if you want to do modulus, right? You can use the modulus also. So modulus is nothing but the reminders, right? In case C, so 40 and 300, so it will reminder to 20. So let's try to run it. So multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, right? The reminder, right? You could see a plus b equal to 300 plus 200, 500. 300 minus 200 equal to that one, a divided by b, right? So 300 divided by 200, it's 1, right? Because it is not 1 2 coming, is right. But in case if you change it to 100, so it will change accordingly. And this is the modulus, right? So 300 divided by 40 equal to 4 into 40 equal to 7 equal to 20, so remainder is 20. That is the result is coming. Now if you want to execute it again, so it will be coming as, third option will be coming as 3 instead of 1. So that's why you can just do the different operation of the basic Java operation. Then the next one is relational operation, right? So in case you want to see that whether it's equal to, not equal to, getter, like that only. So suppose say in case you want to print out something called a equal to, it will see that whether it's equal or not, right? So it will give it true or false. Not equal to. So what is that way? Not equal to. So not equal to sign, not, that is not equal to, right? Getter equal to, less equal to, like that. That's why you can print it out. It will give true or false. Getter, and getter equal to, less equal to, getter equal to, you can give it at the same time, getter or equal to. So in last three will give you true and false based on the condition is matching. You can see here the first one is not equal to, definitely value is not equal to. A here not equal to is true coming. A getter equal to c, definitely value 300 is greater than 40, so it is true. So similar way you can print out the other way. Then the assignment operator. So assignment operator, right? There is some assignment called equal to, and add and assign, subtract and assign, multiply and assign, like that, right? So let's give something called here. If you want to print something, value for a. Okay. So let's see. So a plus plus, and then the value of a. Then okay. So what is the value printed? Can you guys tell me here? No, I'm okay. No, it will be 300 and say 3 1. Yes, because here you are plus plus, so that value will be printed first. That is called post increment operator, post operator. Because it will be printed first, then it will add the value called 1. Right? In the next time that additional value will be stored, and next time if you want to print it, it will work, right? So that is called post increment. Another is called pre-increment. So value will increment it first, then it will print it out. You can see that is called post increment, right? Post increment. Okay, let's comment out this part. Just here it will be plus plus a. It is called pre-increment. And here it will be 301 and again it will be 301 because its value is getting incremented first, then it will be printed out, and after that it will again next line is also same way printed out. This is the two things please try to remember. That is the only challenges area, I must say. Okay, so now here, so instead of 1, right, you can want to add 10, right? So a plus, right here, that is the syntax, a plus equal to, if you want to give 20, so it will be incremented by 20, right? And after that if you want to print the value of the a, so it will be 320. So that is called assignment operator, right? If you want to print the value of a, it will be 200, 320. So instead of 1 you can just a plus plus means only one increment, but a plus equal to sign in case if you are giving some value, that will be incremented by that way. You can see 320 is coming. Similarly, if you give a minus 20, right, it will be incremented by decremented by 200. If you give a star 20, right, a star 2, so it will be, suppose it will be multiplied by 3 times, right? It will be multiplied by 3, the value will be 900, right? You could see. So that is the way it will work. The next is the logical operator, so it will only work for that kind of boolean value. So you can declare something called boolean, right? So let's try to declare something called boolean. Boolean b1 equal to true, boolean b2 equal to false. After that, if you print want to send something here, right, so with the help of that operator, conditional operator, right, that is called logical operator. So you could see here, like b1 ampersand b2 means in case both are true only, it will be giving it true. In case one is false, it will give you the false. So you no need to worry in case you are having some problem, logic look is not good, right? You can go to the source and you can give format, so automatically it will be formatted, right? So now if you just run it, so in case it is or only one is true, it will give you true, but in case it's or and only true is true only, then it will give it true. One true, one false, again false. It's kind of multiplication, right? So you could see false. In case if you giving ampersand, right? So what is that one? Sorry, that sign, right? So that is called or. Yeah, pipe, right? That is called all or, right? Yeah, so pipe symbol. So similar way, not equal to, you can give it. So that are the kind of different operation for the basically for the boolean variable. So you can see one is true, that is the thing is giving true. So any one is true is fine. Okay, so any questions guys from the Java operator? It is not normal thing, but yeah, the post increment, the pre increment part, or the assignment operator might be something new for you. Otherwise it is kind of very thing, but yeah, you can just do some practice only. So I have tried to depict most of the important operator here, which is mostly commonly used. Okay, cool. Then I'll go to the string, right? String I already show, right, how to define the string. So string is nothing but sequence of character written in double quotes. So string may contain alphabets, number, and special characters. You already know, right? I no need to define it. So there is a java.lang.string class which provides very useful method to perform the operations on sequence of character value. An array of character works same as a string. Strings can be created using the new keyword as well. So this is the three way you can define the string, and you can convert the from the character to string, and this is another way with the help of new keyword you can create a string. So let's try to create some string here. In case you are not having any question, can you go on mute, please? String, say str1 equal to, yeah, okay, I will correct it. So in case it is not here, so it will be, suppose, say test1, no, test kind of stuff I can give it, or maybe I can give it Selenium, right? So you can see error message is coming. So Java will let you know what is the exact error message. You can see string cannot be resolved type. Okay, no need to worry. So definitely that particular word is not defined in the Java, right? So you need to correct it. So I'll be giving some other string. So string 2. You can see same variable cannot be duplicate, right? You could see here the third problem is coming, right? Duplicate local variable. No, variable should be unique in nature. Cannot be duplicate. It says Java. Suppose say blank means null variable. I am not giving anything. The t variable I am giving. After that, if you want to perform some operation, right? So these are the different methods available called merge or concatenate, right? Then character at compare to string. Then if you want to ignore the equal case, you can ignore it. Length you can get it, replace it. So what does it mean by concatenation, right? So concatenation is nothing but kind of adding the thing one after another. So if you want to concatenate something, suppose say if you want to print out concatenate, right? So you can see here it will be, I can concatenate string 1 second. So if you want to concatenate, so you need to use the plus sign only, suppose string true. Okay, so what will happen, it will just I mean kind of clap the string. Okay, it will append it Selenium Java without any space, right? You could see here it will concatenate. But suppose if you want to give some space, then what you need to give again another, suppose say space I want to give, right? That is called space. You can concatenate it, right? So string 1, then plus sign, then this right space symbol, so one space, then string 2, right? Now if you print out, so it will be giving one space, so that's why you can concatenate, right? Okay, so that is called concatenation for the string. You can see the space is getting added. Okay, so then this length, right? So if you know that length, right? So how many string is available in the Selenium? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? If you want to print the length, so you can call the length method. This is the all the methods available in the string, right? So call string 1 dot length, right? You can see this is the method is coming. Suppose say for the third string, what is the length? So there is no value there, so it will be length will be 0. So let's try to print out the length. Selenium Java, that is the thing. First one is the 8. I already mentioned this is the length of 8. So in Java everything will start from 0, right? So length 8 means it will be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And here you can see no variance there, right? It is called null. That is the reason length is 0, because there is no variable, no value, kind of no, right? Thing is available, right? Equally compared, you can two variable in case you want to see that anything is equal or not. So comparing, it will compare, right? Then equal ignore case, if you want to ignore equal ignore case, right? If you want to compare something with equal ignore case, means uppercase lowercase you can just do it, right? If you want to replace something, suppose say A to B, so it will be replaced. So let's try to print something called after replacing, right? So how you can replace it? Suppose say I want to replace this one dot, you can call the replace method. If you just press dot re, like you can see all the replace method will be coming. You can see here it is giving thing, no need to worry. Old character and the new character, right? So what is my old character? Suppose say I want to replace e selenium e with suppose say g, right? So that's how you can replace it, right? So you need to give fast bracket, right, within the fast code, because that is the character you want to replace it. So that is the only thing I already written in the method. You no need to worry, just follow my thing, and so that you can get all the details. Okay, so let's try to run as, right, you can see e is getting changed by e g, right? So that is called replacing, right? The next part, if you want to convert something to uppercase lowercase, you can do it. You can trim something, right? So say let's for the Java part I'm having some this value, right, in the upper one and the lower one. This is called space, but that is character, right? So how can you trim it, right? So if you normally print x33, so it will be having all the thing, right? But after that, if you want to trim it, sorry, str3 dot trim, so all the leading spaces and all the trailing spaces will be removed, so that is called trim. And you can change it, right? Something called string1 dot to uppercase, so it will be all uppercase, right, to uppercase, right? Let's try to run my code and let's see what is happening here. So this is all the important method, whatever I have tried to written, that is mostly used. But apart from the all the methods available, you can see here, right? So you can see the trim. Oh sorry, str3 I have given. Sorry, it will be str2. Because str2 is null only. So you can see here. Now you can see lot of spaces will be there also for the fast SYSO, right? Because lot of additional spaces is already there, right? You can see this is the spaces getting added, right? This is the so many spaces, right? This is the spaces, and here you can see this is the spaces, trailing spaces and the leading spaces, right? Both the thing, and here it is completely converted to the uppercase, right? Contents, if you want to see there's a big word, right? If you want to see something is what is there, you can use contents, right? Suppose say how are you, and if you want to check how is available or not in the string, you can just use the content, right? And the name dot content, that particular word in the double quote, so it will give you true or false. Is empty, right, is the string, right, is empty or not. Similar way, in case it is null, definitely it's empty string, right? Okay, so that will be confirmed. Okay, so that way you can check, right? And then start with, end with, similar like that only. Substring, so substring, but suppose say I am just declaring Selenium Java training, right? So that is the thing I am declaring for the string one, right? Then I can want to get some string, right? So let's see substring, how can I get it out? So that is the two way for the substring. So 1 second. So so for the substring you can give the string value, then dot substring, dot substring. So in case you want to just print out the sub portion of the string, right, dot substring. And here you can see there is a three things there. Either you can give the starting index, right, where it will, after the starting index it will print the everything, but you can give the both the index, start and end, right, so that it will give only the middle portion. So that are the different things available. So suppose if you give substring the start index, suppose begin index as 3, 4 and end index as 10, right, you can print out the middle value only from the 4th to 10. In case you are giving the start index only, so after the start index, in case all the values is there, it will be printed out. So that is the only difference. So here you could see that Selenium Java, so it will be starting with the 4th one, right? So right, you could see in NEI, right? because the first 4 digit is not getting printed, it is starting from the 5. That is called fourth, right? And anytime till it will go to the 10th one, right? So that is the way it is goes till 10. Fourth and one space and one J. So that is the 6 digit, right? 5 to 10. Fourth means it will exclude the till 4 digit, it will start from the fifth one. So starting from 0. So that's the different main important string, I must say that methods already available in the java.lang.strings class, right? So these are the thing, you can just check it, and in case most of the time it might require, right, to convert something, to validate something, especially whenever you are dealing with the string operation, right? So that is the important thing. So any questions, guys? Is it clear? You can practice it more. Okay, there are few more topics available from today's session. We'll try to complete it one by one, but in case you are having any doubt, let me know, we can discuss it. Okay, but this is the simple one. It might look simple, but this is very very conceptual one. In case you are able to get the concept right, that will help you very thoroughly, guys. Okay, in because are you getting the concept or not? Just try to get the concept right. The latter part you can do. Okay. Yeah. Then the next one is array. Then we know that character. So whenever interviewer will also ask the question, right, they will go in sequence. So that is the most of the area people are failed, used to give, not able to give the answer. So first they will ask the data type, then you will say that can you define the kind of character. Then how, what is the link between the character to the string, right? You can say that sequence of character is string, so that's why you can convert it, right? After that they can say that what is the array. So array is a collection of similar type of element that have contiguous memory allocation, right? Then you can define the array. After that say that there is some problem limitation in the array, then how can you solve it? Then the thing will be coming as called the collection framework, where we can, and I mean whatever drawback is there in the array, right, that can be overcome. So that is the very very linked for thing, right? So if you know the concept, you can any point of time give the right answer, and that will forget about this other thing, but it will help you to work in the real time, right? Right, so array is a very common type of data structure wherein all the element must be same data type. It cannot be mixed data type. No, in case you are defining something array, integer should be integer only. So once defined, the size of the array is fixed and cannot be increased to accommodate more elements. That is the drawback of the array. That is the reason, right? I think the other things came into the picture called the collection framework. I'll cover in the last session of the Java. Then you can try to get the sequence, right? So it will start from the 0 to n minus 1, right? So in case suppose say you are defining some array size as 3, so the size will be fixed to 3. In case you are defining 2 element, so 2 element is there, other element it will take the default value of the data type. So that's why it is linked, right? So there are two dimensional array, one is single dimensional array, one is the multi-dimensional array. Then how can you define the array? There is a three-step process. First you can declare the array, right? Suppose let's try to go for the one dimensional array first, then we'll go to the two dimensional array. So we'll go to both the process. You first you need to declare the array, right? So how can I declare it? Suppose I need to define the data type and then array name. Suppose say string. Sorry, I can define the data type as string. Then I can define the array called str array. So this is the one dimensional, right? This is the one dimensional, right? One dimensional means one that right? One dimension. Then I can construct the array, right? So how can I construct the array? So already define it, right? So I'll be constructing the array. It will be it will be only constructing the array. One second. Next one will be the constructing the array, right? So int array, I need to take the array here equal to new, and that is the array, and where I can define the size. New int. What is the size here? New, and then I need to keep this integer 2. Okay, it will be string, sorry. Should work. 1 second. String array, I'm defining it, then I'm constructing the array. Okay, yeah, so I need no need to keep it. Yeah, so this is the name only, no need to give that one. Here it will be giving that data type string and then 2 value. Then I can define the value here, right? So suppose, how can I define the value here? Suppose that is the way you can define the value. So suppose say this is the first, I have given that thing 2. Suppose say because string, right? So suppose say RAM, then the first value is sum. Oh God, sum. Okay, so this is the two thing I am doing. Now if you want to access it, right, how can you access it? So you need to simply give that one, right? Then you can just use it the other way. So that is the one way, right? You can, oh God, you can define 3 definition step. One is, first is kind of declaring the array, constructing the array and initializing the array, right? And now if you want to print it out, it will print the value. It will be similar collections of work on, sorry, similar collection of element, right? It cannot be other way, right? If you define the value of 3, right, now only I have I have given the value as I only define 2 definition, right? Now if I want to access the 2, it will be the default value of the data type. So that is the problem, right? And if you want to add more variable, no, it will not work. So that is another problem. So once you define the size of the thing, so it is getting fixed. In case you are having less value, so other value will be filled with the similar default value. So, and it cannot be changed, and if you cannot add more value once the size is defined. So that is the reason collection framework will play the role, where not only you can just add it, right, you can also just change it as and when required. Yeah, yeah, right. Suppose say just try to add it here. Suppose say 3, so it is going bound the capacity, right? You can see immediately error message will be coming during running. So it will throw the runtime error, not the compilation error. That is the problem. It will throw the runtime error. Okay. So array index out of bound, like that, I think so. Or yeah, array index out of bound exception, right? This is the row number, its problem is coming, right? Because the value is 3, but you have trying to define the element at 4th position. 0 1 2 is possible, but 0 1 2 3 is not possible. So that is the one process. Then second process, I'll tell you, in single shot you can define the array, right? So let's try to give for 2-dimensional array. Suppose say integer. So how can you define 2 dimension? That is 1 dimension. Then you can give another dimension, that is called 2-dimensional array, right? Or int array, right? Int array, and here you can give the value. You need to first give second bracket, and then here give it another second bracket, and then comma. That will be called your row 1 3 5. So that will be one row. It will be all the value will be placed. because it's integer. In case it is string, you need to give in the double quote. So that is the only difference. Here you need to give double quote. Then comma, that will be another row. Suppose say 2, 4, 6. So that's one only single way we can define it. Right? So that is the definition. Define kind of, right, that is called declaring, constructing and initializing, all the things happening same time. And then if you want to print out the value here, how can you print it out? Should be row and column, right? So first thing is that here it is placing in the first row. So how it will look like 1, 3 and 5. The next line it will be called 2, 4 and 6. That way it will store the value, right? So if you want to access the first one, what will be the thing? So row will be 0, column will be 0, because in Java it is n minus 1 only, right? So for the second one it will be row will be 1, column will be 0. That is called row, right? And the vertical it will be column. Suppose then what will be the thing? You need to give the array here, and you need to give the row and column, because this is a 2-dimensional, right? So you can give it 0 and 0. If you want to go for similar other way, right, you can give it. Suppose the first row, first column, second row, first column, right? First row, last column, means it will be 2. So that's why you can just interact with it. If you want to multiply something, right, do some operation, right, you can just also do it in the same way. Suppose I want to interact with some operation, so one column and then I can give star sign. So I want to multiply these two value, right? I can do it directly. So you could see the first row first column value is 1, then the second row first column value is 2. It is called second row, and third column value is 6 here, and there it is coming working, right? First row first column value is 1, and then second row third column is 6. So 1 into star 6 equal to 6. So if you want to give it 2, so that means, one second, so that means first column third row and second column third row value I am multiplying, means 5 into 6 it will be 30, right? So that is the different way you can handle the multi-dimensional array as well. Right, you can see 30 is coming. So any questions, guys? Is it clear? Both the way you can define the array and you can do the operation, you can get the value. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Sometime might be required. So whatever I'll be covering, I mean, I'm not saying the otherwise, but most of the thing will be requiring in the real-time project framework application. Okay. So that is the array, because especially, right, array, because until you are knowing the array, then you cannot get the collection framework concept, right? Because that is linked. So that is the reason, because you need to very learn all the collection framework concepts, starting with array list, linked list, hash map, tree set, link set, like that, right? So that will help you to work in the framework part. Okay. Then the last topic for today, not last topics, is I mean there are 5 topics is there, which is the loop concept, right? So what is loop, right? So sometime in case you need to run some of your code for multiple iteration, then definitely loop will help you, right? So there might be situation when user need to execute a block of code several number of times in general statement or execute it sequentially. The first statement is a function is executed first, then followed by second, third, fourth, like that. So there are primarily 3 types of loop available, not 3 type, 4 type you can say. So for each loop you can know in the collection framework. Apart from that, for, while and do while is available. So there is another loop available called for each, so which will be only relevant during the collection framework. I will cover there only. So primarily concentrate on the 3 theme. So in case your iteration is fixed, you know the iteration, so you can go with the for loop. In case iteration is not fixed, you can go with the while and do while loop. But for while loop, your condition will check first. In case condition is not matching, it will not be executed. For but do while loop, it will do one time. Just try to understand from the name itself. Do thing whether condition is not matching or not, it will do one time. After that, you will check for the condition. After that, in case it is not matching, then it will not work. So that is the three loop available. And three loop we can control it with the help of two keyword called continue keyword and the one thing is called break keyword. So this is the very two important thing. Okay, so we'll cover one by one. Let's try to understand what is for loop. So already mentioned, in case the iteration number of iteration is fixed, right, we will be going to the for loop. Okay, so let's see what is for loop all about. So for loop repeats a block of statement for a specified number of times. If the number of iteration is fixed, it is recommended to use the for loop. Java for loop is a control flow statement iterate a part of the program multiple times. That is syntax. Try to understand the syntax first. For start value, end value, increment or decrement operator, there is the statement, right? So let's try to write something. For, right, give first bracket, then that is the syntax. Try to understand, then second bracket. So that is the syntax for the for loop, right? So here I need to give start value. So for that you need to define something, right? Integer I, start value, suppose I am starting with 0, right? Then giving the end value, suppose I want to go till 5. So if you want to go till 5, so you need to give equal to less equal to sign, right? Less equal to, or if you want to give go till 4, so you can give less 5. Then increment or decrement operator, right? So I plus plus or I minus minus. Then you can go with SYSO and you can print the value of the I. So that is the for loop. Now if you print out, so you could see, so value will start from 0 and it will go till 5 equal to 5, right? Less equal to 5. So 0 1 2 3 4 5. So that is the way you can do it, right? Now if you want to see the impactance of the negative or the sorry, that one, right, decrement operator. So decrement operator, it will decrease, right? So let's try to see the decrement operator. So will it work? Can you let me know any will it give any output? Anyone? In case I run that code, will it give any output? No, 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 no. How it can? Okay, it is going to infinity process. Okay, yeah, infinite loop it will go, right? Because 0 and it cannot go to less 5 with the decrement, right? So it should start with some higher word, then it will go to the lower. So in case you starting from 10, then it is going to 5, right? It will can work, right? So it will be not, even if we giving the less equal sign, it will not work. You can see it will be blank output. Let's run it. Let's see. It will be blank, right? No output. Why? Because it is starting from I and it cannot go till less than, right? It will getter. That sign you need to give it. So it will work. So you need to remember it, guys, right? So that is the thing. In case you want to increment or decrement, that is the two thing you need to remember it. Okay. So that is all about the for loop, right? The two-way increment and decrement part. Then in case the number of iteration is not fixed, guys, then you can go with the while or do while loop. So while loop, it will first try to get the condition, match the condition. In case condition is matching, it will go for the statement. So initialization, then while condition. So what is initialization? So initialization means I am just starting with declaring some variable called integer j equal to suppose say 5. That is called initialization, right? Then while what is the condition? J less than 10, right? So it will go till j9, right? Not equal to sign, it did not given it. Then while, then statement, then second bracket, then statement, right? So that is the part. Then you are giving the increment or decrement operator here, right? So it will be j plus plus. I need to change with j also. So if you run it, it will work. Similar way, but the kind of syntax is different only. Because you are giving the increment or decrement number later, that is the reason you do not know how many iteration is there. But here you know the iteration. So that is the reason you are giving within the for. After that you are going for the statement. But here you are giving the increment later, right? You are giving the statement first. So that is the reason your do while loop will play the role. The next is while loop. So it will check the condition. In case condition is not matching, right? It will not work, not print out something. Suppose in case you are giving it greater than sign, right? Changing it to greater than 10, right? So it will not work. It will not run anything. It will give you the blank result. So it will check the condition while, and then it will execute. So that is the reason, right? Okay. Then we will go for the do while loop. So similar way only, but here it will run at least one time though the condition is not matching. So what is the thing for do while loop, right? So it will do initialize and then do, right? Do then what is the thing, statement increment decrement, and while part it will go come later, right? It will go later while part. So that is the syntax for the while loop. So it is starting with 5, then do statement. So it does not matter if the condition is matching or not, right? So it will work for at least one time. So here condition is matching, that is fine, it will go for all the iteration. But in case it is not matching, but still it will execute for one time, so it does not matter. You can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is coming. Now let's change the condition greater than. So here condition is not matching, 5 starting, but here value I am seeing that it should be greater than 10, right? So let's try to run it. So but still it will execute one time for the j equal to 5 though condition is not matching. That is the concept of difference of 3 loop: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, right? So these three things. So Java do while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iterations is not fixed, and user must have to execute the loop at least once. It is recommended to use the do while loop. It executes a block of statement at least once irrespective of the condition. Right? First it is do, then condition, then it will match. Then it is in, kind of statement, then it will go for the condition. The next thing is that there are two keyword available to control the loop. Sometimes I need to control the loop, right? Then how can I control the loop? Okay, for if, do while anything. Okay, so there is a two words available called break and keyword. So loop control statement change execution from its normal sequence. When execution leaves a scope, all automatic objects that were created in the scope are destroyed. Java support break and continue statement control statement. So in case you are giving something break, what will happen? So in case immediately condition is matching, it will terminate the loop. So break also used in the switch statement. Okay. So in case there is two loop available, inner loop, outer loop, so outer will break and then it will go to the inner loop. So that's why in inner loop will be breaked out and it will go to the outer loop again. So as and when condition is matching, it will break the loop immediately. So that is the condition for the break. Right? Let's try to implement it. Something. What is the break? So let's go here, the break part. So let's create some for loop again. I can take any for loop here. So this is the for loop I will take, simple for loop. Then I will try to use the called break, right? So how can I use the break? So here I am printing something, right? Let's try to use it and let's see what the problem is happening here. Yes, so that is the one thing I can use it. Let's try to implement before breaking also. Suppose say in case you don't want to go for some condition, right? Suppose say if suppose I not equal to, suppose say I don't want to print that one, right? Apart from that I don't want to print, suppose say I not equal to say 3. So this is the part I don't want to break it, right? Then you need to give a bracket here, right, and you need to end a bracket here. So that is the two thing, that is the one way. So you can give some if also in the for loop. So that is the two condition. It will, in case it is not equal to, only that will print. So these are the condition I am not checking. So you can see here 0 1 4 and 5. So 2 and 3 is getting nullified, right? And I will give you the break importance here also, how can you use the break. So that way you can discard some of the steps. It is not that you have to use all the thing, right? So say I am using the break here, right? Here I can give the condition similar way. If I equal to 3, as and when it is matching with 3, then what I will do, I will just break it. Then I will break the loop. Okay, break. But I think you have to give it semicolon I need to give it, but apart from that, yeah, I think it will work, right? Only the break will be there. Yeah, let's try to run it and let's see what is happening. So as and when it will matching to the 3, right? After the remaining 3 it will not consider, so immediately it will terminate the loop. You can see, so 0 1 and 2 is getting executed, right? So that is the thing called the break. So immediately it will break the loop, because suppose say you want to visit block 1 2 3 4 5 there, but somehow you have go to 1 and 2, right? 0 sorry 1 and 2. After that you given instruction, no, go till block 3, after that remaining 3 will do tomorrow. So that is the reason, right? You can break it immediately. So we'll check 1 2 and 3. Maybe as and when instruction is coming, then you can continue. Okay, so you can remove the break and you can continue. You can start it right from here again, you can change it. So that is the reason break plays a pivotal role, right? The next one is that kind of continue. So what is the difference between break and continue? So break will break the loop immediately, but continue will skip that particular step, but it will continue from the next part, right? So that is the only difference. So instead of break, if you change it to continue, so what will happen here, so it will just skip that step. So 0 1 2 will be executed and I equal to 3 will be just skipped, and remaining line of code will be again executed. So that is the difference between the break and continue keyword, which actually control the loops. So you can see 0 1 2 coming, 3 is getting skipped. As in when condition is matching, that particular thing will be skipped, and then again remaining line of code will be executed, right? So let's recapture the today's topic. After that I will take all the question in case you are having anything. So from today onward, 4 session will be for the Java, right? So you already understand the Java features: simple, object oriented, portable, secure, platform independent, high performance, multi-threaded, interpreted, robust, and the architecture neutral. So first is kind of JVM, which is not in real time existence, but it will compiler is there, which will compile the Java code to the bytecode. Then JVM is there, right? And then the JRE and then JDK. JDK is all the other kind of resources available, kind of interpreter, loader, compiler, and document generator, everything through which you can write your code, write and run your code, right? Java is really important in Selenium WebDriver because of lot of additional resources available there, right? Most of the tester is using, so that lot of kind of interaction can be happen and you can get acquired knowledge. Syntax tool, right? So Java with end with braces, like every statement with end with semicolon. Programs will start from the main method, right? You need to launch a ID, you need to create a Java project, you need to create a package, you need to create a class. After that you need to write it program. So this is the two important part: main method and SYSO method. The command is also very useful, right, to disable your code from the execution. Data type, primitive and non-primitive, right? Integer, byte, long, float, short, character, boolean, and non-primitive it's like the string, array, all this stuff. So variable is nothing but a container which holds all that value. There are three type of variable: local variable, instance variable, and the class variable. So local variable is only within the locally existing. Instance variable or the static variable, you no need to create an object or instance, you can directly use in the main method. Class variable, you need to create the object or instance, after that you can use it. So A group of similar object is a class, and the class is not logical, whereas object is very logical, guys. Right, there are so many operator, arithmetic, relational, assignment, and logical operator in Java available. You can perform different operations with the help of logical operator. Java string is nothing but sequence of character written in double quotes. So there are a lot of methods available in the string, like character add, compared to, uppercase, lowercase, content, stream, start with, end with, is empty, length, all this stuff is available in the string method. Right, an array is a similar kind of element, right, where you can create single dimensional, multi-dimensional array, either in a single way or three-step process, like declaring, constructing, and initializing the array. The Java loops, in case you know that number of you want to iterate for the number of times, right, you can go for 3 loops. So for the fixed iteration, you can go for the for loop, and in case you want to check the condition first, you can go for the while loop. In case you want to execute at least one for the one time and then check the condition, you can go for the do while loop. And there are two keyword available called break and continue keyword, through which you can control the loop. So break means it will directly end the loop, and continue means it will keep the particular condition, it will then continue the loop. So that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.